Suck. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Deborah Morehead. I am a Wampanoag Narragansett woman, and we sing with Netikush. Netikush means sisters. But to start this program, we're going to have a land acknowledgement. So the land that we are on today is Narragansett. Homeland. They're indigenous to this land. I'm a Wampanoag, so I'm mostly Wampanoag, and I have Narragansett too. So because this is Narragansett homeland, I am going to leave the land acknowledgement to Loren Spears. Could you come on up, Loren?
Ascowee Kwasin, Natasuis Makasni Pashao at Nahaigansek, Natasuis Loren Spears at Englisha, Ni Nahaigansek Nahantek, Kanupiam at Aki at Nahaigansek. Hello, I'm Loren Spears. I'm the Executive Director of Tamaquag Museum, and I am Narragansett Niantic. Welcome to the homelands of the Narragansett people. Just in thinking about the land and acknowledging this space that is our homeland, Nukasaki, Mother Earth, we have to acknowledge the historical trauma of conquest and colonization, land dispossession, enslavement, and also the resiliency of the Narragansett, Wampanoag, and other indigenous peoples that have maintained their cultural knowledge and traditions going forth into the 21st century. And the Netikush singers and the women that are here on how they're passing that on each generation, and the importance of our traditional ecological knowledge that's related to these lands that we're looking at. Some of you may have seen me in some of the films here at Casey Farm talking about this land, this space, the bay that is over there, our traditional lifeways that we pass forward into the 21st century and marry that with 21st century life and our traditional ecological knowledge. So I want to acknowledge two other tribal elders from our community, Wanda Hopkins and Evangeline Hankinson. That's very important for us to acknowledge our elders and our community, and I thank Debbie and all the people that are here from our tribal communities. And welcome all of you to our homelands. So, Kanupiam.
What a beautiful space this is. So, I worked with Allison on the Three Sisters. I did the artwork for the chains, and Allison is the engineer and sculptor. So, this song's in honor of you, Allison, and it's a welcome song. Okay, so this is a welcome song. We normally would have you dance and sing with us, but it's not a circle right here. We're going to sing the four directions, the energy of the four directions, and so each one of us is taking a direction. I'm taking the east. Okay, ready? Hi-yo, 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 hi-ya. Hi-yo, hi-yo, hi-ya. Hi-yo, hi-yo, hi-ya. Hi-yo, hi-yo, hi-ya. Way-ah, hi, way-ah, hi-yo. Hi-yo, hi-yo, one more song, and it's Jasmine wrote this song for us.
Way-ya, hey-ya, hey, we are four voices. Way-ya, hey-ya, hey, we are four voices. Way-ya, way-ya, I sing the East song.
I sing the North song.
I sing the West song.
I sing the South song.
Way-ya, 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 hey-ya, hey, we are four voices. Way-ya, hey-ya, hey, we are four voices. Way-ya, way-ya, I sing the spring song.
I sing the summer song.
I sing the autumn song.
I sing the winter song.
Way-ya, 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 hey-ya, hey, we are four voices. Way-ya, hey-ya, hey, we are four voices. Way-ya, way-ya, I sing the eagle song.
I sing the hawk song.
I sing the fox song.
I sing the wolf song.
Way-ya, 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 hey-ya, hey, we are four voices. Way-ya, hey-ya, hey, we are four voices. Way-ya, way-ya, I sing tobacco song.
I sing the sage song.
I sing the cedar song.
I sing the chica song.
Way-ya, 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 hey-ya, hey, we are four voices. Way-ya, hey-ya, hey, we are four voices. Way-ya, way-ya.
So we'll be singing later. We'll be singing a water blessing song later.
Thank you so much, the Connecticut Singers. So wonderful. Welcome everyone to KC Farm. I'm Jane Hennedy, the site manager for Southern Rhode Island. And Loren, thank you. That was a real gift for you to do the land acknowledgement for us today. Thank you everyone. So glad to see you here. And isn't it appropriate that it is a nice drizzly day for our beautiful RainKeep to gather the dew and to begin the process of nurturing this beautiful garden. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about the space that you're in now that you have the context of the indigenous history of this land. So the ancestors of the Caseys came here in 1702, and the same 300 acres that we are on are the same 300 acres that we farm today as a Rhode Island certified organic farm. And this garden that we're in was the kitchen garden. They called it the SAS yard, S-A-S yard, or sauce yard. So here's where you come to gather your herbs to flavor your sauce. And indeed, you are sitting among all of the beautiful herbs that our gardeners have planted for our CSA program. And the beautiful garden that's behind you with all of the colorful red signs in English and Spanish, that's the education garden. And that's where our education coordinator has lovingly planted so many things, including the three sisters, corn, beans, and squash. And they are tiny little sisters today, but over the summer they will grow and grow together. So our beautiful addition to the landscape will make that happen in a sustainable way. And so I want to thank all of you who had a part in that, so many supporters. In particular, I want to thank the Rhode Island Council for the Humanities. This project is made possible in part by a grant from the Rhode Island Council for the Humanities, an independent affiliate of the National Endowment for the Humanities. The Rhode Island Council for the Humanities seeds, supports, and strengthens public history, cultural heritage, civic education, and community engagement by and for all Rhode Islanders. So without their help, we could not have as full a program as we're having today. And because there are so many people here who are members of Historic New England, I want to say a thank you, a special thank you to you for your support of the 38 sites and all the different programs that Historic New England has throughout the 6 New England states. So we're one of 38 sites, and Historic New England is, of course, the oldest and largest regional heritage organization in the country. And we are delighted today to have with us our President and CEO, Vin Sapola, who I will be introducing in a moment. But first, I just want to say a special thank you to Deborah Spears Morehead, who is, as she said, one of the artists of this beautiful addition to the landscape, and to Allison Newsom. Wave at everybody so everybody knows Allison Newsom is the inventor of the RainKeep and the sculptor for this. And now it's my pleasure, and now it is my pleasure to introduce our President and CEO, Vin Sapola.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor and privilege to be here. So, Casey Farm was the first site I officially visited in joining Historic New England about a year ago. And I was intoxicated by it. I am so moved and again intoxicated by being here today. You know, we have 38 sites, as Jane said. I can't have a favorite, right? But I have to say, I do have to say, there is something so moving about this place. And so it's really a privilege to be here, and also to see this brilliant work of art, having only seen it really in video, in slides. And here it is, so majestic, so beautiful, so approachable. It really is stunning. What a gift. So thank you so much. And Loren, I've only seen you on video. You're a person. You're actually here. So thank you. That was so beautiful. An introduction and a beginning. Thank you. So I have all these notes, and I apologize, but I don't want to leave anybody out. As Jane said, and Jane, who does such amazing work with her team in bringing this place to life 365 days a year. So Jane, thank you so much for all you do. Casey's Farm. So as we've said a few times, there are 38 sites, and there may be favorites. And we are standing on one of 4 historic New England farms. As Jane had mentioned, this is New England's oldest working farm, dating from 1702. And today, of course, is a museum, an organic working farm and education center, a community gathering place and conserved open space. The way we connect to the land, its people in our community, have made it such a popular and beloved destination, attracting over 50,000 visitors annually. It is the most visited site at Historic New England. Go ahead. This spring, Historic New England embraced a new strategic plan called the New England Plan. The first of our 5 major strategic directions is to reach higher, to be the leading voice for the full New England experience through authentic, inclusive, bold, and innovative storytelling, leveraging our museums, sites, collections, archives, easement program, and new opportunities across the region. And the Casey Farm and the work being done here as really presented by today's example really provides the leadership, and has. Beginning in 2018, as you know, Casey Farm teamed up with the Tompanoag Museum. In addition to portraits and photographs of the Casey family, the display in our farmhouse gallery now combines older artifacts discovered at the property with with contemporary work by indigenous artists affiliated with the Tompanoag Museum. I can say it, but yeah. Thank you very much. Today we gather for this special dedication of the Three Sisters RainKeep sculpture, another step in this journey. The Three Sisters RainKeep honors the indigenous heritage of the land and the lessons of sustainability and harmony with nature that this heritage teaches us. This installation is the result, as has already been mentioned, of a collaboration between artists Allison Newsom and Deborah Morehead, who we are honored to have with us here today. So now I'd like to introduce a wonderful colleague of mine, Julie Souls, team leader for collection services, who has been with Historic New England for 20 years this summer, to tell you more about this remarkable sculpture and introduce Allison Newsom and Deborah Morehead. Thank you so much. Thank you for keeping me on point. Thank you for being here.
So I'm so pleased, as with Vin, to be here with you today to celebrate the installation of this incredible sculpture and to celebrate these important artists. It's been exciting to work with the team to figure out the logistics to bring this sculpture to the property, especially working with Allison and the farm team, Jane and Adam and Lindy and Margaret, to make sure that this installation could actually happen. As you can imagine, it's a little more involved than just getting a sculpture and plopping it down, so archaeology and excavation, and so we're very excited. As Vin said, we have a new strategic agenda, and one of the cornerstones is to work to activate our landscapes with art. And whether that's hosting a dance or music program like we had today as part of this program, or working with artists and art colleagues to have outdoor sculpture exhibitions or to acquire individual pieces, this is really the direction we want to be going in. It's really important, the acquisition of this piece, the Three Sisters RainKeep, to get us in that direction for that goal. And it is actually the first contemporary outdoor sculpture that we have acquired for the permanent collection, not only for Casey Farm, but for all of Historic New England's collection. And it's really exciting that it's a functioning work of art, that its use and its subject is so tied programmatically to the work of Casey Farm. We look forward to seeing how much water it can gather and how it can sustain these beautiful gardens and be engaged with people who visit the property. I personally am also incredibly excited to see how this piece changes aesthetically over time, like daily. I'll tell you, 2 weeks ago when Allison was here with her team and we were installing the piece, it was a gorgeous blue, bright day, and putting up the piece was like a beacon in the garden. And yet today, in just like incredibly soft, gray light, I feel it's even more vibrant. So we also look forward to seeing how it changes seasonally. Allison tells me that the rain chains themselves can even become more sculptural in the winter when water and snow freezes on them. We hope to capture those changes and how the sculpture is juxtaposed with the natural and built environments around it, and we will continue to share those with you, so stay tuned. It is my pleasure now to introduce Deborah Morehead to talk about the Three Sisters origin story. I ask you please not to take any photographs during the telling.
To come up and speak with Deborah Morehead about their journey in creating our sculpture.
Hello, everybody. That was wonderful to hear the Three Sisters story and Sky Woman. I'm just going to say, to see Sky Woman, we're seeing the back, because this is repose. So if you walk around to the east side and look, you'll see her, like pregnant and falling. And the different birds and the turtle. And so the wind is moving, it shifts, it's constantly moving. So you just have to walk all the way around.
So Allison and I met in Oneyville when we were invited to put in a bid for some sculpture in Providence. And we didn't know that we would ever meet each other again, but we right off, Allison was like, you need to go to this conference. Like
The Pioneer Conference. I was on my way to the Pioneer Conference.
she's like, there's so many Native people at the Pioneer Conference. You gotta go, you gotta go. And we just right off, we just hit it off right off. And because we're both artists, and as artists, you just need to be around people that are on that same wavelength. We need that because, we think, like people that read books like to be around people that read books. Scholars like to be around scholars. Artists like to be around artists. Gardeners like to be around gardeners. So,
yeah, like to be around so I was at the library, and then we met, exchanged cards, and then I was invited to do a piece for Podfest. Is anybody here from Providence Cultural? So Providence Department of Art and Cultural Tourism. I might not have quite said that right. So to do a piece, a rain harvesting piece, at one of 3 pieces, and it was a pandemic year, so a couple of sculptures were still on. Everything was canceled, but we're very fortunate that being an outdoor venue, that we were able to, the 3 sculptors were able to do our work. So I wanted to do a piece, and for a demo garden, wanted to do the 3 sisters, squash, beans, and corn. The squash that ran away, the youngest one that ran away. And some of you guessed that was the squash? Yeah. And Deb and I have agreed that we would work together, that she would be, would mentor the 3 sisters garden. And then we met, she says, well, first we've got to get the fish. We've got to bury the fish. And so I was like, this is great, So we went to, right near here, Gilbert, and the fish you could walk on, there's so many, it was so beautiful.
I said to her, if we're going to do the 3 sisters, I have to show you the traditional ways. I can't just tell her, because the 3 sisters is a lifestyle for us, because when I was growing up, every spring we would look at the different buds on the trees, and we and think of the moons, what time of year, we would know what time of year that the buckies were running. So that was a traditional thing for us to do, to plant the 3 sisters garden. So I said to Allison, the first thing we have to do is go fishing. So
when the shad tree's blooming, that's when okay.
So Allison and I went fishing down the street from my house. Oh boy, we're like, we couldn't get the things to cast. It was a long time since.
Then we went to the ocean. That was even worse.
So my husband would have us hold the fishing rod, and he'd take pictures of us. And then he took pictures of us sitting next to the ponds, holding our fishing rods. Like, yeah, we went fishing.
And we went to the herring run here when they were running. And we were able to, Deb said, I'm allowed to, being Native American, take the fish, but I don't want to because they're endangered. So I just want to make that clear. The idea was just to go and see them. Just to talk about, she could go there with her grandmother to the same spot to get the fish. It was just the perfect timing because the fish in April, end of April, would compost just enough in your mound of dirt for when you plant it. So it was just like this perfect thing that the fish came just at the right time to bury and be exactly composted. So she said, but there were all these dead ones that the birds had just taken their head and dropped them. So we got the dead ones.
Yeah, and we were like a fiasco out there because there's a fence that allows the fish to go up the wrong way, and they get stuck and trapped. And so I told Allison, and it was our mission to go in there and get all those fish that were trapped and bring them up. And we couldn't do it, but we had everybody trying.
Here actually wrote some letters, and they fixed that spot, so it's all taken care of. So that visit was meant to be, because there were thousands of fish trapped, and it got all these people involved, and then it was a problem because they were diverting in this one area. But anyway.
Yeah, like if they're endangered, the last thing you want to do is lose 1,000 of them.
We could talk about this all. It went on. Oh my God! So now we got Sean involved. We were up there with buckets, getting them and dumping them out. Oh my God! It was just every
jumping in the water, jumping out of the water.
So Deb's telling me the 3 sisters story, the origin story, and I didn't know about it. And I don't think people were. I'm from California, but a lot of people I know raised in New England didn't know the story. This is the story of this land from like from all the way down up
Eastern
to Canada.
Woodland,
Eastern Woodland,
Canada, yeah.
Huge. And
Algonquin speaking people.
She started saying, well, squash, beans, and corn, that's like key to our story. So she started telling me, and I'm like, oh my God. instead of just working with me on the garden, you've got to do the rain chain, design some imagery into the rain chains, because that 8-foot column, vertical column, can turn into a kinetic sculpture that moves, and the rain runs down it too. So it's all about water, you know, right down the imagery when it's raining. And so she did these beautiful drawings, and we had them transformed into imagery, and so that these incredible drawings, black and white drawings, and that we and then you got to hear some of the story today. So that we changed the name to the piece to Three Sisters, because it was originally Bee Violet, and it was about how the bees see ultraviolet. Some of you know about that, patterns that we don't see to help them navigate. And then the piece completely turned into Three Sisters because of all of, you know, that's what we have to do. We have to be ready for this transfer, for everything that's going on. We have to be ready to choose what to let go of and what to move on with. But amazingly, you know, some of those things you let go of, purple. Turns out purple is this huge color with the shell and the...
Yeah, it's the color of the wampum, and it's the color of royalty too, but I wore it last week. Today I didn't feel like wearing purple. I have purple on in all my... But anyways, I was so purple last week, I felt like, what's that? One of those characters for the kids.
The dedication of... Charles had to take off of the Slave History Medallion dedication at the DeWolf at Leno's place.
Yeah.
They sang.
Yeah, I felt like Barney. That's what I felt.
Yeah, you should help with that ceremony. So we were talking about purple and the quahogs and the wampum, and how the quahog represents where the salt water and the fresh water come together. I mean, it just goes on and on. There's so many layers that we don't know about. To everything, just layers and layers and layers, and then out of that you can make these connections that hit home, you know, and that we love finding those commonalities and those differences.
Yeah, so since she's a person that spent most of her childhood close to the land, living with the redwoods, you know, we just have such a connection, because as an indigenous person, I live close to the land. You know, I would rather live amongst a million trees than a million buildings. So, and she lived amongst the trees, so we could relate so well together. And I spent like a big quarter of my childhood fishing at Charleston Beach. So I felt like I've done enough fishing for one person in this world. I need some fish for some other people. Only take what you need. So yeah, so now we're constantly, if there's a artist call, we're constantly calling each other. Hey, I have an idea. Let's do this. Let's do that. You know, and then we come together and we're building all kinds of things, and then we're like, let's try the next one until we get them.
Yeah, we did some crazy model making a few months back. That was
oh, we had so much fun. We had so much fun.
So we'll see. We're just going. We're moving here. We're on the move.
This isn't work for us.
Yeah.
This is just play and so much fun. I mean, we can make it work, but it's really... we love it so much, like we never work a day in our life. Yeah. Well, that's us.
Here we go.
Thank you so much. So you can just get a little taste of how much fun it has been to do this project as well. But the real fun is going to start when my colleague Adam Lowe, who's the education coordinator here, begins using the sculpture for his program. So I wanted to tell you that, of course, we run tours and we have public programs here for adults and families, and the Three Sisters will always be a part of our interpretation. We have a virtual tour, and so a portion of what we're witnessing today will become part of the virtual tour. We'll have a longer virtual program from this, and we'll also have a video on our YouTube channel. So many more people will be able to share this than are here today. But I wanted to tell you about the most important part of it, or rather I would like Adam to do that, to tell you about his education garden.
Okay, so each year about 20,000 students we serve in the education department across the state of Rhode Island, and we serve students well into Massachusetts and Boston and across Connecticut into Hartford. So we have a large reach. and we do several programs. A Project Chick, which is by far the largest, where students will hatch chicks in the classroom, and then they'll come to the farm and visit and learn all about chicks, turkeys, ducks, as well as the other farm animals such as pigs and rabbits. Also, we have on the farm tour and summer camps, and this is where the rain sculpture will be in use. On one of the stations, children actually will come into the garden here, learn how to learn the names of various plants, learn about the three sisters. At the end, later in the season, they'll get to harvest. And for summer camps, each day at 10:45 they come and harvest organic snacks from the garden or from the fields. And then one station is they learn to weed and water, and they'll come to the rain sculpture, fill up their barrels, and then take them over to the garden. Sometimes they might, some of the younger children won't get that far with a bucket. They might be watering the herbs that are a little closer to avoid spillage. Or also on 90-degree days when it's close to 100, things might get a little wet too, as we know. And then they go and water the plants in the garden. Again, we try and teach sustainability here and the environment. The older children will go off into the woods as well, and they also learn about the history of the farm from the first peoples all the way through to the current day. They learn about the Narragansett people on our history. So now I'm going to invite...
Yes, we'd like to invite the Medicare Singers to come back and give us their water blessing song. And we'd like to invite particularly the younger people among us. Would you like to come and get a watering can and fill it up, and you can help to water our three sisters' gardening bed? Thank you, as they're singing. And I just want to invite you all, after our program here, you're more than welcome to come into the Farmhouse Museum Gallery. And I want to thank you again for being here today.
So, you think you got out of not singing today? Well, you're gonna sing. This song was taught to me from a woman who was from the Blackfeet Nation, and she said it was taught to her by many women. And so this song, it's the grandmother's water blessing song. So how it goes is that a young girl had a dream, and she dreamt of this song, and the grandmother said, "We lost that song years and years ago, generations ago, and you brought it back. It's time for this song." So the words of the song is, "I bless the water, I carry the water, to bless the sacred water." So what she told me is to teach any woman I'd ever meet, that because we are the life givers, to sing this song whenever you're around water to bless it. So the words go, "Nibi wabo, Wendayo, Aki nishbi, Aya, 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 oh." Okay, so sing it with us as we bless it. So anytime you're around water, if you're taking a shower, if you're washing your hands, if you're doing laundry, anything, drinking water, if you're singing this song, and you sing it 7 times. 4 directions. You sing it 4 times for the 4 directions, and then 1 for Father Sky, Mother Earth, and for the light that's within. Nibi wabo wandayo, Aki nishbi, Nibi wabo, Aya, 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 oh, aya. Aya, 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 oh, oh, oh. Nibi wabo wandayo. Aki nishpi, nibi wabo. Aya, 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 oh, aya, oh, oh. Nibi wabo wandayo. Aki nishpi, nibi wabo. Aya, 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 oh, oh, oh. Nibi wabo wandayo. Aki nishpi, nibi wabo. Aya, 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 oh. Is that four? Nibi wabo wandayo. Aki nishpi, nibi wabo. Aya, 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 oh, oh, oh. That's five. 6. Nibi wabo wandayo. Aki nishpi, nibi wabo. Aya, 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 oh, aya, aya. Is that 7? Oh, nibi wabo wandayo. Aki nishpi, nibi wabo. Aya, 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 oh, oh, oh. Follow it. Water, sing it, women. And another thing, see, I was losing count of where I was at because when you're singing that, you can sing to the 4 directions: east, west. And this way. I was west. I was south. Yeah. Yeah. So that's west, that's south, that's north. Okay. So I was supposed to sing in those directions. So I was thinking that I was supposed to do that, and then I was trying to think of the what number is that, and I was losing it. Many thoughts. So what songs are we singing next? 7 Generations, or okay, this song. That's what it says? Okay, good. I read the program. Hot in the morning. Stay with the program. Okay, I wrote this song on my way back from Aquinnah. The water and just the beauty of Aquinnah and the water, the peace, it all. This song came to me. 7 Generations. The moccasin, back up, did you say? No. Back up. I can't back up. Who did that say? Okay. The moccasinas walk these paths, keeping the dreams for 7 generations. Way ah, way ah, hey ah, way ah, hey ah, way ah, hey ah, hey ah, hey ah, way ah, way hey ah, way ah, hey ah, way ah, hey ah, hey ah, hey ah. The coos to papoose, don't you cry. Sassafras, cedar, and sweet grass. My mother, yeah, she told me so, that I could be broken all alone. But not if I stay divided with my nation. Way ah, hey ah, way ah, hey ah. Way ah, hey ah, hey ah, hey ah. Way ah, way hey ah. Way ah, hey ah. walk these paths, keeping the dream for 7 generations. I didn't thank everyone from the Casey Farm for inviting us, Allison for introducing me to Jane for having us, and everyone that is sitting back there. And I would like to introduce my daughter Jasmine. Could you say hello?
Hi. I'm Jasmine. I'm Jacqueline.
My daughter Jacqueline.
Jacqueline, hello.
Kwanda Shinema Natasuis Manchana Makasuskwa and Dai Nipmuk, English Moniwi, Pam Ellis. I want to thank my Narragansett relatives for letting me be here in their homelands in such a good way. I'd like to thank the Casey Farm folks for this program and the invitation to come. I'd like to thank Allison and Deb for the artistry and for bringing through something that's so beautiful, so meaningful, sustainable. And I just want to thank all of you for coming here today. It's been really important to see your faces and connect with you and to have our voices be part of the program here today. So we came together almost 30 years ago. Deb's daughters are the 2nd generation of the Medicare Singers, and we came together because in our communities, in my Nipmuc community, I'm Nipmuc. Nipmuc is the freshwater people, and unlike the coastal people, we come from the freshwater places, and that's how we're known. And our women's drumming and singing traditions had been all but really lost in our communities, and really women were not singing and were not drumming. So we set about I think we only thought we were going to do it for a few months, really, right? I think we started out saying, let's just, see if we can, let's talk to some of the elders and let's do what we need to do and let's figure this out and bring these traditions, back and bring women's voices back into our circles in a powerful way. And so, that's what we set out to do, and sort of 30 years later.
We've been meeting at least, once or twice a month for the last 30 years, and whoever wants to learn Eastern Woodland Native American women's songs, we invite you to come to our practices. We found that we have like 30 other people that know our songs. So we're happy that you come, but a lot of people don't want to perform. We're the core people that we know that we're ready to perform. We're like the backbone of the singing group, so we're always ready to perform. But it's always nice, though, if something happens, that somebody else, we have so many other people that we have taught the song, and they teach us what they know. So if we have a performance and one of us can't make it, we can pull right in, and we're so surprised. One time we didn't even know that we couldn't, somebody didn't show up, and one of the daughters came up and she just wailed out a song. And we were like, oh, we didn't even know she was singing. But we had so many practices, and as the kids were growing up, they'd be listening to us. Like, they wouldn't sit in the circle with us and sing, but they would listen to us. They'd fall asleep to our music. So they knew the music without even practicing because they heard us sing so much. And my son always tells me the songs like, Mom, sing this song when you're scared. I remember I was going through a bridge and I was afraid going through the bridge, and he was like, Mom, the grandmother's lullaby song will keep you calm. Please sing it, you're driving. I also want to thank Sean for, Sean, right here, stand up, Sean. She's the person that fixed the fence at Gilbert Stewart, talked to the officials of the fence. So she assisted us in making sure that those fish were okay.
Yeah.
So since Pam is they're the freshwater people, we're going to sing the Journey rowing song, traveling song. Okay. That would be our last song, but we could sing one more if you wanted us to.
Do you want to do a robin dance so people could actually get up and dance?
No.
Later. We'll do that later, just between us, okay? We'll do a little robin dance thing.
She wanted to get you guys up rocking and rolling and moving around, but I think it's too hot. But we're going to do...
Like I said, I have a side deal here. At least with the people on this
Can we
side.
do your prayer song? I think your prayer song is really nice, and then we'll do the ending song.
Oh, yeah, sure. No
All right.
Yeah.
Pam wrote this
do
beautiful
you mind
song.
if I stand next to Jasmine?
If you experience listening to Netta, because she'd want to hear this song.
I know. I know. Thank you. No, keep going.
Okay. Sometimes she's looked at me like a deer in the head, like, what am I saying? How does it go? We all do that. We are, hey, we are, hey, hey, we are, hey. Wahino, hey no, wahio, yo he wahino, yo he wahino, yo he wahino, hayo. We are hey, yeah, we are hey. Way out hey, why he no hey no, why he no hey no, why yo hey why no, yo hey why no, yo hey why no, hi yo. We are hey, hey, yeah. We are hey, hey, yeah. We are hey. Hamba jibada, hamba yasta, hamba jibada, hamba yasta, hamba jibada, hamba yasta, hamba jibada, hamba yasta. Yo heyane, 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 yo heyane. Where, 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 where.